weaken a little bit. That's good news. The heating of the day, they just sort of popped up. We're in that pattern for day after day, but they're still out there. Be careful going home. Southern Skies Dermatology. Next up here on the show, bringing you the show today as always. Y'all go get checked. That's the most I can. That's the least I can tell you. Just put this on your list, especially if you've never had a baseline skin cancer check. Some of you are a little more prone because of age or experience or DNA or other reasons, family history, those things that can manifest into something that could be deadly. What you want to know is that you're good to go. And most of the time you're going to be, but 1 in 5 people do have some form of skin cancer, and even the benign skin cancers, basal cell carcinomas and the like, need to be removed. And if you have a removal, they are experts. Dr. Mario is a Mohs expert, which is the only way you should ever have a removal done. It's the latest technology and the best technology for removal. And this is all they do. You got a lot of great dermatologists all over town that do a variety of things. Some people have different specialties in that field. This is a skin cancer place. This is what they do and detect day in and day out. So go see them. Tell them we said hello. They've been with us for years and saving lives in this audience for years, no doubt. It's Southern Skies Dermatology, several locations around the listening area, and a new one on the way somewhere on the 280 corridor. When they get that one ready, I will tell y'all all about it. All right, let's go to the phones. Like I promised, we'll start with Matt, who's up first over here on line 3. We've kind of taken care of all the headlines today. We're really talking a lot about the Senate race and other things that are out there this afternoon. Matt, what's going on? Hey, Jay, is Matt there, line 3?
Yeah.
There he is. All right, Matt, go ahead, man.
The lady that just called in, the IT lady that wanted to keep out, she should have been at the Shelby County, Oak Mountain Senate, forum for every candidate, Lieutenant Governor, Public Service Commission last night, because the Public Service Commission debate was just about the very issues she was talking about. And Jim Ziegler, is interesting a character as he is, really attacked the appointed, KIV appointed, do-nothing guy that's there who was put in because his father was too sick to do the job and show up once a month. So anyway, KIV appointed this guy who's a nice guy, but he did not know his elbow from any other, thing. So,
yeah.
Anyways, and Jim Ziegler said the first day in January, when he takes office on the Public Service Commission, he will begin to investigate erotic behavior and meter readings from with the power companies. Some people have been complaining that their meters are doing really crazy things here the last year or two, winter, summer, all that. Also, he said he would begin to investigate where the, how much water is going to take. Water is a commodity.
Yeah.
And for data centers, the one in Bessemer is more than 18 acres. It's 18 buildings. It's like over 100 acres of land, I believe, in Bessemer. Over 100 acres of land with 18 buildings. I mean, that's a lot of water, a lot of power to be put into that. And who's going to pay the price on the water and the power to keep the thing going?
Yeah, I've seen some statistics for some of these that some of these plants not only consume as much power as an entire city, but they use as much water. And the thermal output of all the heat generated from these things is equal to several Hiroshima bombs. They're beasts of facilities and campuses. And so we do need to be more thoughtful, I think. And look, Ziegler, I've been critical of Ziegler over the years. He's got his quirks, but this guy is exactly who you want on that commission to keep an eye on things. The rest of them are just going to do what they're told. And Ziegler will be. He didn't like it when I described him as a turd in the punch bowl the other day. He didn't like that very much, but it's true. He is there to ruin the party.
He is the watch. He said he's the watchman, and instead of excuses and why we can't get anything done with the Public Service Commission, he's actually going to be watching. And look, the guy didn't even use a car fund. He didn't even use the state car when he was auditor. I didn't agree with everything he said or did, but he used his own car to travel, Volkswagen, to travel around when he was state auditor. He's a very conservative character. He maybe wasn't my first choice, but I'm going with him. And I'm also going with Jared Hudson just because Jared Hudson understands what it's like to be in combat. Barry Moore is not a veteran of any war. Barry Moore never served in any organization outside of the United States of America, even though Barry Moore is a good congressman. I like Barry Moore. He's had, up until recently, he's had the greatest record of any congressman in Alabama, but his record is changing. His voting, he voted to pay off all these people in Congress for all their crimes and sins and abuses they've done. He voted for that recently just to pay them off, and I'm like, what is wrong with him now?
All right, man. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you, buddy. I'm just gonna let y'all go at it, man. I can't debate all that. I don't even know what some of that's about, but that's okay. Here's Larry, also about the Senate race this afternoon. We're just going to take them in order. Larry, what's up?
Yeah, I like Barry. I knew him when I lived in the Andalusia area. He was family, and I never really looked at him as the incumbent, even though he is.
Yeah.
But his values, and so I support Barry, and I know he's strong with his belief, but he's also a strong proponent of term limits. And so that's been my reason for being behind him, even though he wasn't in locally as a state senator. It wasn't my area when I was in the op, lived in East Alabama now, East Central. But, yeah, for that reason, I feel comfortable with Barry. I don't look at him as an insider either. He's still kind of an outsider to me.
Yeah, he's relatively new to Congress, and I asked him. I can't remember what he said, but when he was on with us, I asked him about any kind of term limits pledge for Senate, and I think he said he was still for that, but I think he said 2 terms. But I'll re-ask him that if we get him on again before the race.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that number. I've always felt like that was proper for House, or a little longer because of the committees and things that they work up to. But, I mean, I've been a part of things. I managed Governor Hunt's campaign in Tallapoosa County in 1985 and 86, and his second term, the turmoil that happened with all that, the Attorney General, Baxley and Braddock and all that, but been involved with it a long time. And so now that we've got some control and the power to do some things, got to use our heads and think level-headed and level-minded back to what the people what we fought for a two-party state then. We've got to do the same thing now.
Larry, good stuff, man. I appreciate the call tonight. I'm letting y'all just throw it on the table, whatever you got, 545-9950. Great call so far this afternoon. Just saw a headline that Missouri's Supreme Court has just upheld their new map. That one is a 7 Republican, 1 Democrat map. So some of these states did it the right way. They've been challenged. They've survived court tests. They're moving on. As usual, Alabama, because the way we do things in Montgomery, is like a monkey humping a football. Here's Maria on line 1. I think she's got a traffic update for us. Maria, what's up?
Yes, traffic. I have one to report. I had one to report, and then once I got on 280, I have a second one to report.
Okay.
65 southbound entering 459 northbound. Just as you get onto 459, the left shoulder is blocked with 2 vehicles, and the pickup truck is going anywhere without a tow truck.
Mm-mm.
So that's that one.
That's a bad spot.
It was raining quite a bit at that moment in time.
Yep.
Then, as I got onto 280 in front of Perry's, there's 2 cars, both got their flashers on. She was taking a picture of her car. That's in the center lane eastbound.
Maria is all over the traffic for us, and I appreciate that every time you do it, Maria.
All over this silly city.
Well, you're out there in it, and our traffic guys are in some command center looking at computer spit outs, and you're sitting there looking at the actual wreck. So I appreciate when you do that.
Well, have a good evening.
Thank you, Maria. Maria on the spot this afternoon. Here's Phyllis. I think does she have a traffic report too? Look at all this. Phyllis, what's on your mind?
Hey, Leland. 20 westbound coming coming out of Birmingham, out past Hueytown, is a parking lot.
Oh,
I have
Lord.
no idea what's going on, but massive backup. And, of course, all the side traffic is coming out through Hueytown, so you can't get through that way either. Just stay out of the area for a while.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. That's from, looks like past Fairfield all the way back, right around Fairfield all the way back almost to the junction right now. And this weather's not helping. It may be weather related, I don't know. But Phyllis, I appreciate that report too. Hey, Jay, I was almost going to use a pun with her and go, "Hey, Phyllis, fill us in." All right, Distinctive Pools, let's talk. And we'll take some more of these race phone calls if you want to make the case for your guy or gal in the case, whichever case it may be. Distinctive Pools, man, that's Gary Levac. We always salute his military service. We've got so many of our sponsors that have military history and backgrounds. And Gary's just a good guy. He got out of the Navy, and this dude started building hardscapes. Before he was a pool builder, he was laying those bricks and building those things out of hardscape technology. And it has, over the last 40 years, it's just completely changed. So many more beautiful things can be done. Hardscape business led him to the pool business. He became a master pool builder. And then all these years later, now people are doing both again. They're incorporating the pool project with nice outdoor features so you can use that thing all year. That's what it's about, getting as much use out of it as you can. Even in the cooler months when it's a little too cold to swim, you still got that beautiful pool sitting out there to watch the ball games, watch a movie night at your outdoor space. It's Distinctive Pools. If you want a real experienced pool builder that knows how to build and will build it correctly, you want Distinctive. And you can look on their website and immediately see what I'm talking about. DistinctivePools.com, DistinctivePools.com. Y'all reach out to Gary and his team. Let them come over and y'all start dreaming. It's one thing to look out your window and imagine it. It's another to have a set of plans to look at that's also got a budget attached. And Gary and his team have finance companies that want this to be real for you. They can make it happen. It's DistinctivePools.com. All right, back to the phones again. We'll get Matt in here. Is this our third traffic call in a row? I'm looking at the map, and there is a lot of red out there. I'm glad I'm not in it. Matt, what you looking at?
Just figured I'd continue with the
Sure.
the strategy of the day.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, 459 going northbound past Liberty Park's pretty much shut down all the way to 20. They've got one lane open going past the wreck there, so avoid it with all possibility.
I was looking at my map, so we've got that's sort of the east side of town. We got the west side of town. We got the 280 corridor. It's just bad out there everywhere. And I have to say the weather's probably part of this, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's not going to help, and we still got storms floating through. So, Matt, be careful out there if you're stuck in it.
I passed it all, so we're good to go.
Good for you.
I passed the one on 280 too.
Yeah.
Have a good
Look
one.
at all that. Look at all that red. It is, and it is 517. Again, be careful. It's going to be difficult to find a street, sort of surface street reroute when all of these shutdowns start happening at the same time. And again, the weather does two things. It slows down visibility, but it slows down the rescue attempts to get these cars moved off, to get the people out of there, to remove injured if it's a wreck. So y'all get it at compounds here on this Wednesday evening. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Your phone calls as well, whatever y'all got, traffic reports. Want to talk some trash about the candidates, bring it. 545-9950 Leland Live. Man, I do feel sorry for y'all out there stuck in that traffic as we just playing the blues over here. Well, a lot of people sitting in a parking lot right now. Be careful. The rains are tapering, so that may be of some help as traffic gets moving again. All American Metals bringing you the show tonight, aa-metal.com. I'll give you that again here in just a minute. If you've got any kind of building project, consider steel. To me, it's the best per square foot value for certain projects. It's not going to work for everything, but now people have turned into making it so beautiful that you can do barn dominiums. You can make beautiful homes out of this construction that's, again, cost effective and durable and strong. And I just know that I got talked out of building a wooden barn instead of this steel barn that I have now, and I dressed it up, and I think it looks kind of nice. You can do it inside and out with all the techniques available nowadays. And the company to help you get this project going, without question, is All American Metals. They've got a design team. They can help you with your plans, get a actual stamped engineering set of plans that can be used for anything, for your financing, for your approvals from your zoning. Some people need to walk through those steps first. Then when you're ready and you've got, that final design, and they'll also challenge your thinking and make sure you're doing it the right way. That's good to do. You may think you know what you want, but it depends on how you're going to use it. And then from there, they're going to produce the whole building, the framing, everything that goes with it, all the secondary framing, all the things that connect all the framing. And then, of course, all the steel sheets and the crowns and the gutters and the stuff that go with that building. They'll bring it to you. The insulation, the bolts, the screws, everything that holds it together. It's like a big box of Legos on an 18-wheeler. They even bring it on their own trucks. They're fully integrated, and they'll help you get it to your site so you can get it out of the ground. It is All American Metals. Again, another multi-generation, two-generation steel family that go back to the 1960s, and they do it right. Their costs are better. Their turnaround's faster. Their buildings are nicer. Work with them. aa-metal.com. aa-metal.com. I'm still a little bit obsessed with this alien stuff that keeps popping up in the news. Trump even got asked about it in the cabinet meeting today about any more disclosures. It's been a huge buzz over the government releases so far. Everybody's got an interpretation. But the weird kink is today, and we talked about this at the very beginning of the show, they put out a new trailer for the Spielberg movie that's coming out called, I think it's Disclosure Day or something like that. And huge, just rave reviews over this thing. Now, Spielberg's made quite a few alien movies, starting with Close Encounters, and I guess he made E.T. too, right? Yeah, E.T., War of the Worlds, all these things. But he's saying this is the best thing he's ever made. Naturally, they're going to hype it. It comes out, June the 12th, AJ's birthday. But I've seen a couple of clips today. There was one trailer that came out, didn't really impress me that much. And today what got revealed was the actual face, a little bit of the face of the alien, so to speak, in this movie. And that's giving everybody the heebie-jeebies. And I hope it is good. I hope it's good. But again, the conspiracy crowd wants to say that Spielberg is doing this to soften us up for this coming revelation that the government's going to tell us about. So they employed his talent to get us ready, to prep us. There are reports that they've been meetings with religious leaders in Washington at the White House to not only solicit advice from them on how to make some kind of forthcoming disclosure, but to tell them enough of what's coming so that they're braced to be able to communicate to the public as well. I don't know. Maybe some of it's overblown. I asked the question at the beginning of the show, is this just this teasing about the government disclosures just hype for a movie? Or is the movie hype for all that? Or are they disconnected? They just happen to be happening at the same time. Look, we've always been curious, which is why Spielberg's already made so many of these movies. AJ, did you ever see War of the Worlds? I don't think I saw that one. The people say the scene in there, one of the opening 5 minutes of the beginning of that movie was insane. Maybe I need to go rent it. I don't know. I do know that I think one of the best alien movies that kind of gets overlooked, it was called Super 8 from years ago, where the premise was there was this alien invasion. These kids left behind a Super 8 camera that kept recording the things, that happened. It's kind of Blair Witch style. Pretty good movie. I can't remember. That thing's 10 or 15 years old. Maybe we'll have a resurrection of all these alien movies coming back all of a sudden. All right, bottom of the hour. Let's do it. We'll come back. Keep on going. 30 more minutes to go. More of your phone calls, too. We'll kick it around with you. Lead on live. Talk 99.5. Y'all stay tuned. All right. AJ, I think you told me in my ear, but I couldn't quite hear what you said. Is Thomas there
Yes.
with Stockton? Okay, good. Thomas on the hotline, checking in with us, as is our daily appointment. Thomas, what's happening, my man?
Oh, man, we're just over here helping people live out the American dream and with home ownership. Man, it has been a fantastic week and a fantastic month of May. And, man, I want to tell you, we've been talking a lot about purchases, but, because we're right in the middle of the buying season and things are going fantastic. But I want to tell you something exciting. We had a family that contacted us about, they already owned a house, but they contacted us about they needed to do a refinance. They had a lot of equity and they were interested in saving some money. They had some credit card debt and they contacted us. And so we did a refinance for them where we paid off a tremendous amount of debt that they had accumulated. And we saved them almost $1,800 a month. We paid off all their credit card debt and some other installment loans. They had done one of those online higher interest rate consolidation things that you see where had a higher interest rate and paid that thing off. And then some other credit cards that they had accumulated, man, saved them about $1,800, just shy of $1,800 a month on all of the debt that we paid off. And, that is just something that can be life-changing. $1,800 a month is huge. To be able to do that for a family, that can give you tremendous amount of breathing room in your budget. And, I just wanted to make sure that I brought that to the table today to be able to say, to put that out there for you today, because, man, that is such a tremendous savings for a family. And, if you got listeners out there that are struggling with credit card debt or, their budget is tight, give us a call. Let us sit down and show you how we can save you money and put a plan together. Don't sit there and struggle and figure out and see. Let us sit down so we can see what we can do to save you money each month. So give us a call, 205-859-8859 or savewithstockton.com.
Savewithstockton.com. We appreciate you, Thomas. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Bye-bye.
There's Thomas's check-in tonight. All right, I got to laugh. Here's another update on the Alabama's redistricting situation. Y'all, I mean, let me just preface. I don't even know if I understand this, but let me preface by saying the Supreme Court case was predictable. It was other states were prepared to respond. There was a much more simple way to go about everything we've dealt with, and they have complicated it down in Montgomery, and now it's even more complicated while we wait on the Supreme Court to rule. So before, Kay Ivey's office just put a statement out moving some deadlines around. I'm going to read you the statement verbatim and let you judge on your own. Today's action was the formal appeal directly to the Supreme Court under emergency fashion over the 3-judge ruling that the old map was racist, the map they should have ignored and just drawn a fresh map. Instead, like every other damn state that's been upheld, Alabama decided to default back to a map that has been in litigation since 23. And so now we're trying to get the Supreme Court to approve that map, and maybe they will. Clarence Thomas received the case. He'll be in charge of it. He is given a deadline of Monday at 4:00 Eastern for the litigants on the other side that want to keep the state in turmoil over this season. Meantime, the clock's ticking. Anyway. So here's what Kay Ivey's office says now. This afternoon, taking credit for being so aggressive and smart and fast and quick with this whole thing, which is complete bull squeeze. All right, so earlier today, the Attorney General's office filed emergency stay applications with the U.S. Supreme Court following yesterday's shameful decision by the 3-judge panel, which temporarily blocks the use of the state's 2023 congressional map, requesting the court to rule by Monday, June the 1st. All right. Okay, I'll talk about that in a minute. Let me just keep reading. When Governor Ivey called the special session at the beginning of the month, she stated this action would prepare Alabama if the courts acted quickly. allowing the state to hold a special primary election using the 2023 congressional map. After a successful special session and then a favorable ruling from the Supreme Court, Governor Ivey acted quickly to call a special primary election for August the 11th. Side note, they did not act quickly. And by the way, their first reaction wasn't to do any of this. It was to just give up because of the same court case that's now got us back at the Supreme Court. Just saying. Anyway, I'll continue to read. With any elections, there are various deadlines, one of which is approaching this Friday, May the 29th, 2026, according to the August 11th special primary election calendar. Remember, we just had a primary, and now we've got a runoff, and now they've chosen to call a special primary for only 4 of the districts based on an old map that's already screwed up and was subject to a 3. I mean, it's like they picked a fight with a 3-judge panel they knew there was going to roll against them. Sometimes I honestly believe they're trying to sabotage this whole thing, so we're stuck with this 2-Democrat map. I believe in my heart of hearts this is why they're muffing it up down there. Anyway, back to what she wrote, or her staff people wrote. She's probably taking a nap right now. Anyway, however, to further ensure the state remains in the best position it could to receive a favorable ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court, Governor Ivey today amended the special primary election calendar to allow additional time for the Secretary of State to certify the names of opposed candidates that are to appear on the special primary election ballot. Are y'all following this? Under the amended special primary election calendar, that deadline is now set for Wednesday, June the 3rd. So the presumption there is the court, Clarence Thomas and the court, are going to rule sometime between Monday and Wednesday, and then they can extend this deadline. All these candidates are just sitting around. It's basically the same candidates. This is a screwed up process. Anyway, Governor Ivey issued the following comment. Do I need to read it like Ivy or just read it?
I do declare you need to go ahead and do that.
Alabama is committed to the redistricting fight, as I said yesterday. Bull squeeze. I threw that in myself. Ain't committed to anything. I fully support Attorney General Marshall's appeal, and I am hopeful the Supreme Court quickly gives Alabama a favorable response so we can move forward with the August 11th special primary election. Our 2023 congressional map. We remain in close contact with the Secretary of State's office and the Attorney General's office as the appeal process plays out as our elections approach us. Governor Kay Ivey. And then there's a whole letter to the Secretary of State. So now they got the damn Secretary of State over there, who also is in a runoff himself, who wants to be the lieutenant governor. Don't know when the damn deadline is. The candidates are holding just playing tiddlywinks, waiting to figure out what the hell. And you know what they could have done? Just instead of, remember, the governor's office tried to punt this whole thing. And then they caught hell from loudmouths like myself and others. And then they decided, oh, wait a minute, maybe we will call a special session. She refused to call a special session immediately that day. It was about 4 hours after the ruling. They had no plan, hadn't thought this through. Nobody's drawn maps. Dude, they should have had these. They should have had a 7-0 map waiting. And when the ruling comes out, you call the session, you pass the map, and you run it. When they wanted to pass a damn gas tax, they didn't have any trouble ramming it through. When they wanted to screw up the PSC, they got that through. They can move with great haste when they choose to. Instead, they punted, and then they got caught, and then they wanted to default to this lame-ass 6-1 map, which is itself unconstitutional because it was drawn in an unconstitutional way using a race-based standard, period. The cleanest, easiest thing to do would be call the session, in 5 days, pass a new map, take the heat, then let them challenge that map. Like the other states that did that, those challenges are likely to be swatted down by the courts because you went through your normal process and drew regular maps with contiguous districts, with communities of interest in a fair way. Done. The damn Supreme Court threw them a bone, and they decided to turn it into this, and now nobody knows what's going on. We're waiting on Clarence Thomas, and it'll be Wednesday of next week before any of this gets sorted. And you know, for all we know, the Supreme Court can say, Alabama, look, do it over. Just do it, and then we'll have to do all that I'm describing. Anyway, there's a strong possibility they're just going to say, no, the 2023 map's fine. Let's go to line one. We'll take a couple of phone calls, and then we'll get the break in here. Katie is in Crestline. What's up, Katie?
Yes, Leland, I wanted to tell you about a conversation I had with an out-of-state relative a few months back. They are of a more liberal persuasion, and they were going to a meeting with a group called Indivisible. Mm-hmm. And she portrayed it as a group that did a lot of housing issues, things like that, and also elections. They encouraged the people at the meeting that if they were interested in running for a local office, they would sign them up for the Democratic slate. And they said, we need some volunteers. And she volunteered, and we said, you're running? And she said, oh, they told us it didn't matter. We were just a placeholder, and if we did win, then we could just say we couldn't do it and that they would appoint someone. And I didn't know if Gary Palmer and all of your contacts knew that this kind of thing was going on, even in these local county elections around the country.
Yeah. So I have a lot of questions. So she's referring to sort of county type elections all over the country, or something specific here in Alabama?
Well, it was hers was specific. She's on the ballot.
Yeah.
We looked it up on the internet, and we just didn't really comment. We just said, really? And she said, oh, it's nothing I have to worry about. They said, don't worry. You just will resign after, if you won, you would just resign and say that you were unable to do the office, and we would appoint a Democrat to
And then they'd stick somebody in there.
You're just so you're just a placeholder. I mean, they indicated that to the whole meeting there, and these people are just volunteering. So we really have to do our research on the local elections to make sure that these people want to serve. And it was just very, very worrisome to us because that's somebody filing to run, or they're going to file for them. They're filing to run, but they have no intent to fill the office.
Yeah, look, they're disingenuous in that party, and they do understand power, and they'd rather have a warm body in there than leave a seat completely unchallenged. And again, counting on other mechanisms down the road, that does not surprise me at all. I mean, here's a party that's money laundering foreign donations and believes in foreigners voting in the elections, even local elections around the country. They will break, bend, run through, over, and around any rule you make when it comes to election integrity. So, yeah, that is probably the least surprising thing I've heard today, Katie.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted you to know about that particular group and that you had contacts to just give the information out that this is going on.
Okay. Well, good heads up, and I will pass that along.
Right.
Thank you, Katie.
All right. Thank you.
Very kind. I like that. See something, say something. That's how you do it. All right. Let's talk about All-American Metals. I think I just did. Let's do it again. All-American, man. These are my folks that get that building built for you if you've got something to be built, whether it's a shed or a pole barn or a warehousing operation. You know, the biggest part of their business is big old giant commercial projects, but they can handle even smaller projects. To me, it was a big project building a pretty nice sized pole barn, but they'll handle those all the same. And really it's us residential customers that we'll build one building or maybe two over time that need the most hand holding. They are ready to help. Fully integrated from design work to the building of the building, manufacturing the components, and delivering it to your site. It's All-American Metals. You can look at some of their projects at aa-metal.com, aa-metal.com online. They're over in the Bessemer / Hueytown area because they got buildings and manufacturing facilities all over. And they can flat get that building brought all the way to you. And look, because they're in control of the process, their price is better, their custom turnaround work is faster, and they're just good. They're just good. This is how you want to get it done. All American Metals, aa-metal.com. I'm already home, I guess. Here I am. Lonnie's Furniture Company, one more time for them. They're keeping the Memorial Day sale. I know you're thinking, well, that was Monday. Well, the sale went so well because they got a jump on it when the trucks came in with all this stuff. Said, let's put it on sale. So we started early. The sale went great. You guys were all over it. And they said, let's just keep those discounts going. So here's how it goes. This is enough just to get you to make that trip to the store through the weekend. You can get $100 off every $1,000 that's available that you would spend in the store. So that's just a general discount post Memorial Day. The specific discounts and sale prices on this whole shipment. Again, I tell you all the time, Lonnie's always has fair pricing. They buy in bulk. A lot of it, they get discounts from the manufacturers. This is what they've done for 92 years. And the manufacturers love working with them this way. So when you buy like that, they give you their best price. They bring it back to Alabama. So everything not only is quality built stuff that you're going to want in your home, it's already a good price. Then every now and then they'll get a specific allotment like this. They just want to move it. So they'll put the prices on it. They've got leather recliners as low as $5.99. That's good all day long. Get a pair of those as we head towards summer, and football season will be here before you know it. Get comfortable. Hey, ladies, Father's Day is coming up. Every guy loves his own special chair. He just does. I don't care. Every guy I've ever known, they like their own spaces. Take a look at Lanius. They'll probably hold it for you till Father's Day. Lanius Furniture Company. Take advantage of the sale and get to know these folks. Once you do, you just got a total resource when it comes to furniture buying. Lanius Furniture Company, off exit 280. That's off I-65 in the little town of Kimberly, Alabama. All right, so we do have some traffic concerns. We just heard that one on 20 westbound. We got one clog on 459. Some of this was related to the round of storms that came through. Some of those have subsided quite a bit, so not as boisterous as they were a little bit earlier in the evening. One thing I've got my eye on, because a lot of folks do beach travel and head down to Florida this time of the year, is we may have a potential for a tropical system of some type along the Gulf Coast by next weekend. That's not a forecast yet. It's a computer model. They are not the same thing. That's the computers making suggestions as to what the weather patterns are going to do. They haven't indicated that it would get to hurricane strength, but could be a ton of rain in either way. So the placement is wobbling around. The timing is wobbling around, but it's something for us to keep our eyes on as we move forward through next week. If you've got vacation plans, don't cancel your plans, but just know it could be a soggy weekend, as Florida is just behind the eight ball with a lot of rain over the next week because of the weather system that's also affecting us. So a little bit of a weather update, a little bit of a traffic update. Speaking of Florida, let me get this in here too, just when I was speaking in just exasperation of how they continue to fumble things down in Montgomery. I'm looking at the state of Florida. I've been jealous of the way they managed that state since the COVID shutdowns, where Florida was just this oasis of freedom. I actually found a beach down there that I didn't know much about until my brother invited me on a trip over on the Forgotten Coast one weekend, because, everything was closed down. Florida was wide open. I'll never forget the experience. People sitting around in restaurants, nobody wearing those stupid, ridiculous masks that did absolutely nothing but made people feel better about themselves. It was the weirdest time. But since then, I've watched DeSantis. He had a shot there for a minute to run for the presidency, but he just didn't connect, and he was dealing with Trump. But this afternoon, they put out a statement that Florida, while our government leaders can't quite figure out how to even run an election when the Senate tells you, anyway. So Florida's calling a special session to consider getting rid of their property taxes. All they're saying right now is they're saying it in vague tones, that the session will be an important one, and it has to do with property taxation, and they've kind of put the bookmark out there for the legislators to be on notice of the session. But for a long time, DeSantis has been pushing this notion that Florida could do without a property tax. They already don't have an income tax. You think people are flocking there now? Wait till they give some of the homeowners relief. Look, the Florida real estate market's going through a tremendous transition right now. And then you add the cost of insurance, hazard insurance down in that state because they're hurricane prone. Property can be crazy in that state. This would change a lot. We'll see what they do. I'm completely jealous. I'm 100% jealous of their governor. All right. I said it. We'll see y'all here tomorrow at 2. Stay tuned for Breaking Bread.
Goodbye, AJ.